What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I'm JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. With our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Well, JJ Wang, we made it to week 9 and we are still podcasting. How about them apples?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I feel like we've doing this for about 3 months now. Probably about 2.5 months longer than I thought we'd be able to maintain. So I mean, doing
You
pretty
know,
good. How you
Tuesday's
doing?
a big episode. Tuesday's episode 30. Whoop, whoop. Official 30 with all the extra bonus things we did and stuff we did to start seasons. But yeah, doing good. I was very excited. If you're watching the YouTube, you see I'm sporting my Dolphins video. I mentioned the Dolphins jersey. I had some Colts cash and I was like, there's nothing I need. And I was like, what Dolphins thing? So I found an Xavier Howard jersey. And it came a couple weeks ago, but I couldn't take the tags off because I was worried that he might get traded. And then he survived Tuesday. Tua survived Tuesday. All my jerseys are in good form for the next 3 months, and we'll see
Yeah,
how
it was kind of a boring trade deadline. There wasn't anything involved. I thought we'd at least get like something, but
Yeah.
that's
I thought
really
there'd be a
nothing.
receiver, a running back, something. I was pretty sure the Watson thing was dead in the water, but oh well. So check us out: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We've been putting some videos on there. Talk to a couple people on there, get some comments. Love hearing that. Pop us a message at the email at thefantasycouriers@gmail.com. Leave us some YouTube comments or check out the fantasycouriers.wixsite.com/website. All those are below. Hit us some messages. Give us some topics to talk about. We hit 50 subscribers and then everybody disappeared. What did you do, JJ Wang?
I'm not really sure what happened after last Friday's episode. I mean, we jumped up to 50. I mean, I seen it myself. I mean, we were there, and then I checked it right before the show, and we were down to 46. I'm not really sure what happened, but we really would like to know what happens to these people when they just decide to subscribe and then jump off.
Yeah, we must be scared. We probably should get subscriptions on Spotify with our, faces for radio that we have here going on. That maybe we need, and you can't. I looked on there. It's like you can't see subscribers on that Anchor, which we record on, and has the commercial at the beginning. Shows a little bit, but I think it misses some things from people I know listen to it. So, oh well. If you want to join us on DraftKings, guess what? I came in second place last week. Woot woot! I'll post that up there if anybody wants to join and hit us up and do a little DK time with us this week.
I think I come in last again. I'm pretty sure.
That is why we don't do a DraftKings show. So Thursday night football, I don't know. It was a pretty miserable game. I was down for the count. I didn't see a lot of it. I got my COVID booster and it made me sleep a lot. So I was out. I woke up. I saw some stats. A couple of takeaways that I saw. Then you can hit it from there. White, I had a dilemma. Do I start White or Hill because all my quarterbacks are on bye? Taysom Hill, luckily, I mean, I thought starting White was a better call, and he looked like a better call. And I think what you and I think texted today that he was the better call, and it looks like Taysom Hill's not going to start, so it won't matter. He looks good, but he got hurt way early on. If he'd have played the whole game, I can't imagine what he would have put up.
Yeah, he probably would have had in these last two games. His stats would have been better than Zach Wilson's whole season if he
They
would
already
have
are,
been.
aren't they?
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got just as many touchdowns as Zach Wilson does. But yeah, like I said, I didn't get to watch the game, so I really couldn't see how well. But I noticed like his stats. It was I think it was 9 for 14. With a touch. Did he have a touchdown?
Yeah, he had that touchdown
Yeah.
to Moore in the corner on the blown coverage.
Yeah. So I mean, that little bit of time he looked real good, including last week. So I mean, at least they got their backup. But unfortunately, when Wilson comes back, they're going to put Wilson back in there.
That was going to be my question: is are they smarter than the Dolphins? Will they, how Fitzpatrick came in and out last year with two? I mean, Wilson has looked like stinky,
Yeah.
really bad, and White has looked really, really good. So this is like could this be a Kirk Cousins RG3 scenario? Is it? I don't know. Like, I really have no answer to that question, but it's something to keep an eye on and ponder.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, like they look better with White in there. He seems to get more of the players involved in the game than Wilson does. Wilson's only played 3 games with 4 games. He's coming down to BYU. He has a long ways to go. White at least has. I think this is what his second year in the league.
I mean, he was out of that
And
giant Western Kentucky Studley program
Yeah,
that we've never heard of.
so like I said, I'm with you. I don't really know what they're going to do. If they want to win,
They're playing
it
White.
looks like they would keep White in there, right? But if they
Yeah.
want to just look at the future, I mean, they got to go with Wilson. It's a tough call. I mean, I'm glad I'm not a coach right now. But what's not a tough call is
Stud.
is Jonathan Taylor being an insane running back, and now with Derrick Henry out for the season,
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor could quite possibly end up being the number one running back. I think all he's got to do is jump Austin Eckler. Might not be hard after this week, but I feel like he's got like an 80-yard touchdown running or a pass in like the last 4 or 5 games. And he's just absolutely killing it now. This is what we've been waiting for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he looked just, and we've talked about this before, that the holes he was running through. It's amazing that the Colts, one of the stats they had last night was this is their sixth different offensive line combination, the most in the NFL, but they were just blocking so well. He was running through there was one run where the hole was at least 4 linemen wide. It was ridiculous. Like when he hit people, he hit them too. So, I mean, Jonathan, he's still a stud, but it's always that thing. Like if Tom Brady didn't play for Bill Belichick, we're finding that answer out now. But if he didn't have that amazing Colts line coach, as far as I'm concerned, because I mean, Naheem Hines had that beautiful 34-yard cutback run at the beginning of the game. But Taylor, yeah, if I traded him away, I mean, I did get Dalvin Cook and AJ Brown out of it, so it's not horrible. But speaking of other studs, Pittman is starting to look like quite the stud too for that team. He didn't have like an astronomical Taylor type game, but he's the guy that it looks like Carson Wentz is comfortable hitting. He's a big guy. He's with those two. If you had those two to build around, and Wentz isn't that old, if they put some more weapons around those three, and Wentz doesn't throw some stupid interception from inside the end zone, they could have a formidable core here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Pittman's actually starting to score touchdowns now. I think he's had a touchdown like the last 4 games.
Oh, yes, he has.
Something like that. Something crazy. So, I mean, it's good for him. Like I said, I'm a big Pittman fan.
Mm.
I probably would have gotten more targets if they needed to throw more, but they were up so big. I mean, there wasn't too much to pass. And Taylor only got, 19 carries.
He doesn't get a lot of carries in general. They were talking about that. So they're like, imagine if he got, I think that might have been the most he's had all season, to be honest. That 18, I think, was what they were talking about before. But imagine if he was getting Derrick Henry carries, what would he be doing? It'd be quite interesting to see. So yeah, but we knew who was going to win the game. But the Jets, I always have said they're extremely horrible. But are they getting better, or are they playing up to the competition? Because they did get blown out, not blown out, but they didn't look necessarily like horrible. What are your thoughts on the Jets moving forward? Are they building, or is it fool's gold?
I think they're building. They got some young pieces. I mean, like I said, Elijah Mitchell had a big game last night. The running back Michael Carter's had a big game.
Elijah Moore had a good night too.
Elijah
Moore had a good night
yeah. Well, I hope Elijah Mitchell has a big game too. But Elijah Moore had a big game. So I mean, they've got pieces. But unfortunately, that's really all the pieces that they got. So I say they're horrible. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're horrible. I'll say they're still bad. I mean, they're building for something. They got some pieces, but like it all depends on this quarterback. If they can get their quarterback situation figured out, I mean, that's going to be the biggest option. I'm not really sure. Their defense allowed 40 points.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing their defense being all that great. But yeah, I won't say they're horrible. I'll just say they're bad at this point.
Yeah, I'll go with you there. I mean, they are better than my Dolphins. So what can I say? Luckily, we played the Texans. So bye weeks this week. Moving forward,
Tyrod's back. So
watch out! He's going to be throwing to Cook. I don't know. But moving on to this week, bye weeks, we are missing all of your stellar Detroit Lions, Seattle Seahawks, Buccaneers. That's the biggest slap this week, and the Washington football team. So you're going to be missing a good running back, great receivers, great everything from the Buccaneers. And Washington, you're missing Heineke. Heineke was the big kick for me because Gibson's been a stinker. Probably McKissick. I've been playing him. So That's what you're missing this week. Got to move forward, fill in the holes, make sure you're checking that waiver wire. Might have to pull off some trades. Just make sure you're not stupid and play guys. I had a guy. I'm playing one guy last night, and I think he might still beat me, believe it or not. But he left in who was out of the game last night? Someone had COVID and was out of the game last night. Receiver, but I was like, oh man, come on. Especially if I still lose because it already happened twice this year or once this year. But moving on to the week, a couple of interesting things going on. OBJ will no longer be a Cleveland Brown after Monday. So it's not going to be, it was announced today, but they say Monday is when they're going to postmark it and then they'll put him in the mail. So where do you think he, bunch of questions here, answer what you feel you think you can. Where do you think he might end up? Is he 100% broken? Or is there a possibility of a T.O. Randy Moss type resurgence after this knuckleheadedom known as Cleveland and OBJ?
I mean, I guess he's still got talent. So, I mean, I guess there still is a chance for the resurgence. But me personally, I'm out on OBJ. I don't think it's been, 4 years since he's been good. I mean, it's been a long time. Well, I seen a play last week where he it was a high pass, but it didn't even look like he was even trying to go up and really. He would have got killed if he would have tried to catch it. But I feel like the old OBJ would have tried to go up and get it with that one hand. But like I said, I'm out on him. If you want to take a shot, I mean, you
I
go.
did. I just bet I got him off waivers tonight.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
want
too
to
excited. As far as where he goes, it might kind of roll into this next question that you have
You
on
think
our next
so?
topic.
Huh.
But maybe the Raiders. I mean, with what's going on there, they might need some wide receiver help. Maybe even the Dolphins with Parker going on the IR. I'm going to bring that up a little earlier. They need wide receiver help. I wouldn't pick him up if I was a coach for any team. I wouldn't pick him up. He just seems to be a headache.
Yeah, my thought, my team I'm thinking of might be the Saints
Maybe Saints. Yeah.
because they got a bunch of speedsters and Michael Thomas is done now, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Uh, he's done for the season, so that might be somewhere that he falls into. I mean, catching balls from Trevor Simeon, but it just seems so To like. But To is so much better talent. OBJ, I thought initially had the talent, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think that'll be the real test is when he lands. What happens when he pops up in this new location, whatever it may be? Everywhere you say sounds good. Saints would be my if I had to throw $5 in, I'd throw $5 in the Saints hat right now.
But yes,
Um,
but the only issue with the Saints right now is they just don't have any money to pay anything. Like their cap space.
yeah,
I know they can finagle the cap. All teams finagle the cap. The Rams seem to finagle it better than anybody. But
yeah.
from what I gather, the Saints just got zero money to play with. So I'm
Oh,
not sure how that
pay him zero. Drop Michael Thomas. Who knows?
works.
Sad story of the week. Uh, Ruggs just made a very poor decision, drinking and driving, going way too fast, took someone's life, and rightfully so. His NFL career should be done. So thoughts and prayers for the loss of life in there, and that maybe he can get his life in order after all of that. Just really poor decisions, and just to maybe it even gets other players to think about keeping an eye on their buddies. I think Carr had an interesting conversation with him that night that made you think like, hey, could I have saw something, or just and everybody in general just to make good choices and not do something just incredibly irresponsible like that. But moving on past that, that'll be taken care of in other realms. We're looking at the fantasy aspect. Raiders are down now a receiver. Is Brian Edwards the next man up, or will it just mean more Renfro and maybe this makes Waller good again? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not too sure about Waller. I mean, that's a scary situation you got going on right there. And as far as Renfro goes, I mean, Renfro was already pretty heavily involved in the offense already, and he was getting a lot of those targets. Derek Carr seems to
Yeah.
like him. So I mean, he's definitely a positive. He's definitely a star at this point. As far as Edwards, I mean, you know what? I'm an Edwards fan, but I just don't know. It's not like Ruggs was taking up a bunch of targets. I mean, he wasn't getting a lot of targets. Edwards was still playing the majorities of the game. They're just not going his way. So if he can't produce now in this offense, you've got to wonder: is Brian Edwards really who we thought he was? Coming out of college. Because I mean, for coming out, I mean, everybody was pretty high on the guy. He's like, it just hasn't panned out yet. I'm not sure. He's just not
Yeah, I
getting the
just
targets.
traded for him on my super team and almost traded him back because of some other, Adrian Peterson being
Yeah.
available. But as yeah, I think this is basically put up or shut up time for Edwards because Ruggs would get some of those looks, not a lot. I mean, he wasn't your D Hop or anybody like that, but he was still getting some looks. So those looks got to go somewhere, and hopefully Brian Edwards realizes that he's supposed to be playing football for Las
Right.
Vegas. But speaking of knuckleheads, apparently Aaron Rodgers signed his own name and turned in a paper with his mom's name signature saying that he was vaccinated. Maybe he was vaccinated for the cootie shot. I think that's what it was. Circle, circle, dot, dot. He must have got the cootie shot. I don't know. There's some funny memes out about Rodgers, and it's Aaron Rodgers, our favorite prima donna. But he's out this week because he tested because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so Mr. Love, Jordan Love's going to get his first start. So how fare the Packers this week?
Man, who knows? I mean, I almost say this is what we've been waiting for to see what Jordan Love can do. 'Cause I think this is going to be his first start, correct? I think.
Mhm.
But I mean, this is pretty much what we've been waiting for to see how Jordan Love comes in and plays. And for those wide receivers, I'd be scared to start any of those wide receivers. I know Devontae Adams is great, but we just don't know if Jordan Love is going to be able to give him the ball. Of course, you're still going to start Devontae Adams. You're not going to bench him. Might help out the run game a little bit. Aaron Jones and what's the homeboy's name?
Dylan, HL,
Dylan. Probably get a couple more
Mercedes
carries.
Lewis.
Yeah, maybe. But like, who knows? Without Rodgers, I mean, it's a whole nother team. There's not too many quarterbacks can do what Rodgers can do. So if you're going to start your Packers, be very, very careful.
I got to start Adams finally. But I got a couple quick hit questions here for you before you have a game to share as we wrap us up today. How do the Saints have a chance without Winston?
I think the Saints can win without Winston. Will any of their players be fantasy relevant other than Kamara? Probably not. I mean, they were 5-2 with Winston. I don't think Winston was all that great. I think Sean Payton's a really, 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 actually a great coach.
Yeah.
So I think he can probably. I mean, he could win with anybody. Obviously, I mean, he brought Simeon in last week. So I mean, I've got confidence in the Saints, just not the players on the Saints.
And start if you need a quarterback, Simeon is the starter this week.
Yep.
This week, the Battle of Ohio takes place. Cleveland or Cincinnati. Where do you fall? Good defense and a good running game for Cleveland, or good defense and a good passing game for Cincinnati? What will win out?
I think I'm going to go with the good D and the passing for Cincinnati. I think they just got more weapons. They got more weapons. Plus, they got the run game too. I mean,
Mhm.
they can run a little bit. Mixon isn't great, but I mean, he's
Uh,
got
he's, he's looked pretty good for my fantasy team. He's
yeah, yeah. I
stepping it
mean,
up
like you say,
recently.
he's still top 12. I mean, he's playing good. He's at least he's playing and not injured. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland can pass the ball. Mayfield's hurt, not good, no receivers. Nick Chubb's good, but I feel like we're still waiting for that Nick Chubb, breakout game, for him to go on a run. So, but I'm taking Cincinnati.
Okay, we got Ridley was officially put on the NFI. Any receivers other than Kyle Pitts you would roster or even think to play desperation or at all?
Uh, Probably not. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
either going to be Pitts or Cordero Patterson is going to get the bulk of that stuff right there. So either one of those, I mean, you're fine. Anybody else, I wouldn't bother.
Parker also in the 3 weeks IR. He actually looked really good last week for a
Yeah,
bit of that game. Like that first half when the game looked good. Other than Waddle, Gasicki, would you? I'm starting our boy Preston Williams in a league because I have to.
I mean, if Preston Williams plays, it seems like he's questionable, and then he's out all week, and then right before the game starts, he's deemed out. So I mean, if I have to start Preston Williams, sure, but I mean, this helps Waddle. It
I
seemed
have
Waddle kind of disappeared a little bit when Parker came back last week. Gesicki kind of disappeared too with Parker came back. So maybe this with Parker out, it'll help him back,
to
bring him back.
stay out. Ugh. And in my mind, the game is the Titans versus the Rams still the game of the week that we think it is, even without Derrick Henry.
I mean, it's kind of got to be right. Titans somehow the Titans are in first place in the AFC, the number one seed somehow. But I feel like that's going to change without Henry. Of course, the Rams they're not in first in the NFC, but they're high powered and they're one of the better teams. It's going to be a completely different game without Henry in there. The Rams aren't going to have to focus on the run game. That's going to allow that defense to pin their ears back and go after Tannehill all game long. So Tannehill, this D is going to come after you, man. You better be prepared.
Von Miller, baby.
Yep.
Okay, you have a treat for us. Last week we had some good Halloween fun. Where are we going today?
But speaking of treats, I mean, this could have gone with last week, what given the Halloween kind of theme I've got. But what I really wanted to do here was I kind of wanted to celebrate, Sam Darnold playing the Patriots again. Going in the or seeing the ghost. I'm seeing ghosts out there type thing. I wanted to bring that up. I got a couple players here, and I wonder if you're seeing ghosts on these guys. When I say that, I mean I wonder if you're confused. I wonder if you don't know really what to do with these guys here. So the first guy I'm going to bring up is a big name. I'm going to go with Kyler Murray. He's currently the sixth ranked quarterback. Just a few weeks ago, he was the number one quarterback. No longer. So he's got 2,200 yards, 17 touchdowns. He's only got 147 yards rushing. That was the thing with Kyler. I mean, his rushing ability was what's supposed to make him so good. He's been under 300 passing yards the last 5 games. In the last 4 games, he has a total of 40 rushing yards and no touchdowns. Like you said, that rushing is what Kyler was. We were banking on for Kyler, and now he's also injured with that ankle, and he may not play. So, are you seeing ghosts with Kyler Murray?
Well, I guess I am. I just traded him away in my dynasty team. That was only because I got an offer I couldn't refuse. I traded him away for Dak in a first, so you can't. I told the guy, I was like, I never thought I'd trade Kyler Murray, but seeing ghosts, probably Pac-Man type ghosts right now with him because I am a little scared, but I can still walk a back because I think the talent is there, and it could have. I'm not totally seeing ghosts, but I am getting a little
Close.
shaky, and that's not why I traded him. Oddly enough, I just traded him because I told the guy I was like, my goal in that league was to have Dak or Kyler. Those are two quarterbacks I don't have anywhere else, and I wanted to ride with them. And he said, "Okay, I'll give you Dak in the first." I'm like, "Okay, you godfathered me."
Yeah, I would have. I probably would have taken that too. But like I said, if I got Kyler, I'm still going to start him. Like, may not be able to start him this week because he
He's
might
supposedly
miss.
out. Whether
But yeah,
remember,
but I mean, like you've got to start him if you have him. You don't have too many better options. So the next guy I'm going with, I'm going to stick on the same team. I'm going to go with his teammate Deandre Hopkins, who's currently the number 13 wide receiver out of the top 10. Just
where's
like I
Metcalf?
said so far, he is also injured and may not play this week. Currently, he's got only 49 targets. I had to double check that just to make sure that that was true. But at 49 targets, 35 catches, 486 yards, but he does have the 7 touchdowns. So this is what we got with Kyler. He has 0 double-digit target games, which is insane. He's usually getting double-digit targets every game. Like I think he's on pace for like 110 targets. DeAndre Hopkins is 150, 160 target guy, and he has 100-yard games this year. So, are you seeing ghosts with DeAndre Hopkins?
I'm starting Preston Williams this week. With D Hop, I mean, to me, those two are on it's the same horse and wagon, right? They are together. The horse is going to be D Hop. The guy steering the wagon is Kyler. As Kyler goes, D Hop should go. It could be that it's a changing of the guard. I don't think so. D Hop last week looked really good, and then he pulled his hammy, right? It was hammy.
Yeah,
So like that 55-yard, if he hadn't face mask like a dope, had a touchdown. But that was an amazing play. And I'm more worried about Kyler if I had to than D Hop. This week I'm worried because I don't think either of them are playing. Like I saw a story that said, yeah, they're probably not playing this week. They walked it back on something I read prior to the show saying, yeah, we'll look and see closer to game time, but he might this week. Yeah, I'm going to be pale as a ghost because he's not playing.
yep.
If he's playing, you got once again, you got to play him.
Yeah, they said you got to play him, but I mean, with some of these stats that I read out, you've got to be a little concerned. You got to be seeing a shadow there. This next guy, I seem to be all over your guys on this one. I'm gonna go Dalvin Cook. He's currently RB 30, right? So he's got 98 carries, 444 yards, and only 2 touchdowns. He's got 12 receptions for 73 yards. So far he only has two 100-yard games. He's missed missed 2 games. I believe he's missed part of one, and he only has one 20-point fantasy game. Are you seeing ghosts with Dalvin Cook?
Well, he has a 131 yard, 140-yard game and still averaging 4.5 a carry. I'm worried because I'm not getting the touchdowns. So not as I honestly probably would be more scared of D Hop than I am of Dalvin because he is still getting the carries. I mean, with Dalvin, with any running back, you never know what's going to happen. It's like Saquon. Like you throw Saquon in here, and I'm petrified.
Oh yeah,
My team, we're talking. We've talked about all my guys: Saquon, Chubb, and Cook are my 3 starting running backs on this one team that should be really good, but they're all just sort of kicking me in the tail. So I'm not. No, I don't think I'm necessarily worried yet. Last year he did have 5 yards per carry. This week he's at 4 point. This year he's at 4.5. If the touchdowns don't come, that's when we got to be scared. The receptions are what I'm scared about. I mean, you're looking at 0, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 6.
yeah,
So Cousins has to start getting him some balls out of the backfield. Stop throwing it to Jefferson. Keep throwing it to Thielen though.
yeah. I mean, they say I don't know if I'm too worried about it. Hopefully, if he stays healthy for the remainder of the season, I think we'll probably get the regular Dalvin Cook. Like I say, he's got to score touchdowns. I mean, that's the key. If he ain't scoring touchdowns, he's not going to be too much good for anybody. So the last guy I got here, we'll go Mike Williams. He's currently wide receiver 16. He's got 35 catches, 517 yards in the 6 touchdowns. Started off super strong. Well, I mean, we all thought he was great. We thought he was going to finally break out. At least I did. So got a couple stats here. He's got 2 or fewer catches in the last 3 or 4 games. 27 or fewer yards in those same 3 or 4 games, and less than 4 fantasy points in 3 of those 4 games. Now, that other game, he literally exploded for 160 yards and a touchdown. But overall, 2 touchdowns, my bad. So overall, are you seeing ghosts of Mike Williams?
If you don't have faith in a player at all, can you see ghosts? Like I will not own Mike Williams. People have offered me Mike Williams. I have no desire to have Mike Williams. I don't trust Mike Williams. I got burnt too long. He's my Devontae Parker, I guess. I mean, he does have 2 monster games, and his first 2 games were. The first 3 games of the season, you're looking at a great receiver that you want to have on your team, and then it's been a bunch of poo, except for that one blow up game versus the Browns. But in the grand scheme, probably not seeing ghosts because the 3 bad games were Raiders, Ravens, Patriots. So decent secondaries. I mean, you're not talking like the shutdowns of the world, but they were a little bit better secondaries that were slowing him down. And that's why I'm not too petrified. But this is what you get from Mike Williams. I mean, luckily he's healthy. So what can you take? So that saves the ghost. If he wasn't healthy, I'd be like, yeah, look at that ghost. No shocker. But I'm not seeing ghosts because I don't trust or ever have him on one hand, and on the other hand, it was 3 decent teams. I mean, he took Washington for a good Washington, Dallas, the Chiefs, and the Browns. I mean, the Browns are a good team, good defense, and he took them for the 165. So no, I think he probably because it's weird that he of the 4 of the ones I see the less ghosts about.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so that's all I got. I thought it was pretty fun to get a couple of guys in there talking, see if their stats are, what they are, see if you got any worry in those guys.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. Got a couple of names for you as we close out here for the week. Hope make sure to check out the Raiders receivers if they're available. Pick some up. Renfrow is probably gone. Edwards might be there depending how deep your league is. My boy Tua, if he's there, I mean, he's been playing decent game. I mean, he played not great, but decent against Buffalo, which is a stout defense. And if you need a running back for a few weeks, Boston Scott, 12 for 60 and 2 touchdowns. Everybody's touting the Jordan Howard, but Jordan Howard didn't do much more than score touchdowns. But apparently everybody scores touchdowns for Philadelphia if you're not Miles Sanders.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I don't understand how any of this happens. All these running backs look good except for Miles Sanders. It's just I
Yeah,
don't
he's there. I might have to play him this week. But yeah,
Yeah,
any guys you got out or?
well, yeah, I got one guy. So I'm in a league. Antonio Gibson has been my starting running back all year. I think I'm finally about to. I don't want to say give up on him, but I think it's about time for me to send Gibson to the bench. And my start of the week is going to be Elijah Mitchell. I know I mentioned him earlier with the wrong name, but I think Elijah Mitchell's going to have a big game against Arizona. I think they're playing Arizona, right? It's who they're playing. 49ers playing Arizona, I think. So
With
without
no D Hop, they'll go for it.
yeah, without Kyler, without DeAndre Hopkins. It could be a close game. They're going to be running it. I know Jeff Wilson is slated to return at some point, but I don't think he'll be back this week. So I think we got at least one more game without the Vulture and Jeff Wilson for Elijah Mitchell. So that's my star of the week, Elijah Mitchell.
So Kittle's back, and he should take some off the side too, as well. So there'll be less in the box and better blocker too. He's a good blocker.
I know Debo's kind of hurt too, so we'll see. We'll see how that.
I did see that.
I really need him to start really bad.
Okay, take us out of here, JJ.
Yeah, so another great week. Some good games. Hopefully this week. Sorry for all you Packers fans out there that's having to deal with this Aaron Rodgers nonsense. We're actually going to see how much the NFL really likes quarterbacks, because I'm pretty sure what Aaron Rodgers has done is a suspendable. I don't know if that's a word. Suspendable offense. So if Rodgers is just your average player, he gets suspended. But he's not your average player. He might not get suspended. So we'll see how that goes. Keep an eye open for that. So, but as always, trust yourself and trust the process.